Alright guys, welcome back to this channel, and in this video we are going to be doing something very exciting. Alright, now this is a complicated topic among undergraduates, but I'm going to quickly explain it. So I want to use epsilon delta definition to prove that the limit of x squared plus 5x plus 2 is equals to 16. Normally, if you should do direct substitution, if I should put 2 in x squared, as 2 squared, as 4 plus 10, that's 14, plus 2, that's 16. That's simple. But how do I want to prove it using epsilon definition? Epsilon delta. So let's define what epsilon delta is. That is for all epsilon greater than 0, right? There is delta greater than 0, remember. Then the absolute value, such that the absolute value of x minus c, that c is the limit point, basically is less than delta, and this actually implies that the absolute value of f of x minus the limit is less than epsilon. So let me just break out down all this English. Now this one here is what we want to get. I want to get something like this. If I can get something like this for my question, it will be very easy to solve, right? So see what I want to do. I will just have to fix in everything I've said in the example. So now for all blah blah, blah, I don't need that. So let's start from here. My c here is the 2. This is like the limit of x going to c of f of x is equals to L, right? So my c here is 2. We should substitute it. So for blah 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 blah, the absolute value of x minus 2 is less than delta, right? Then implies that the absolute value of what is my f of x now? X squared plus 5x, okay, plus 2. Then that's my f of x minus L. What is my L here now? 16. You see that it's less than epsilon. Okay, so we want to now get the value. We are trying to get the value of delta that will satisfy this proof. So let's just do a rough calculations first before we now prove it if it's actually less than epsilon. Let's know what we want to know what this is. If I can know what this is, then I can see if it is really less than epsilon. There. So now 2 minus 16, that's minus 14. So x squared minus plus 5x minus 14, basically here I can rewrite it as the limit of plus 7x minus 2x then minus 14. So I can rewrite it this way. So if I'm to factorize it, I would have something like this: the limit of x plus 7 then x minus 2. Okay, so let's just quickly clear this side so we can have some spaces to work on. So now from our inequality law, triangular inequality, we can see that this is less than or equal to the absolute value of x plus 7 and the absolute value of x minus 2. What do you observe? I have been able to get this x minus 2 that I'm looking for, right? Which is, that one is delta already, so I don't need to stress. But I need to change the interesting part of this topic is you need to change this x plus 7 to become x minus 2 so that you can bring out your delta, right? So this is less than epsilon from this place. Okay, so now I'm coming from here, right? Let's come from that point. There is n approaches 2 or x approach 2, basically. Now it means that x is going to 2. So you can find the neighborhood of 2. That means what are the numbers close to 2? The neighborhood of 2. When I say neighborhood is just like the interval c minus delta h c plus delta, right? That's the neighborhood of c. So I will just pick one. You can pick 2, you can pick 3. Just know that the more number you pick, the bigger the interval. So you don't want to work with something that will be too big. Though you are not wrong, but the interval will just be too big. So I want to work with a tighter interval. So let me pick epsilon delta equals to 1, right? So let's say delta is equals to 1. So I would now have something like this, a rough calculation. So I have absolute value of x minus 2 instead of delta is now less than 1, right? But from our inequality, we know that this is minus 1 less than x minus 2 less than 1. So if I'm to write that, I would just have you know, I would have minus 1 plus 2 less than x less than 1 plus 2. Good. So that would be 1 less than x less than 3. So my interval is basically 1 comma 3. Obviously we can find this 2 between 1 comma 3, so I can use that one. But now that's not what I want to do. I want to make sure that x plus 7 becomes x minus 2 so that I can make it a delta, right? So I will just say, what will I add to the interval? So I already have I have an interval minus 1 less than x minus 2 less than 1. So what will I add to minus, what will I add to minus 2 that will make it plus 7? That will be a plus 9. So if I should add plus 9 here, plus 9 here, plus 9 here, so I would have something like 8 less than x plus 7 less than 10. So now this whole expression that we have here will now be what? Less or equal to 10, then absolute value of x minus 2 less than what? Epsilon. You see, that is very simple. So what is our x minus 2? It is less than what? Delta. So this is also less than 10 what? 10 delta, which is less than what? Epsilon, right? So in that case, I can now see what is my data. My data is my data is um data is less than or equal to epsilon less than 10, right? So I can now take minimum of data as data becomes interval of the one I picked, 1 comma what? Epsilon over what? Over 10. That is my data. I am done. So how do I know if I'm done? I will put it in the definition. If I can get less than epsilon, then I'm good, right? So I already know that this is fine. I already know that x plus 7 is less than 10. So I will start from here to show that I'm done. That's how to show the proof. So I'll just quickly show that. Okay, so from here, I will just go back to the question and want to fulfill the definition basically. So the definition says that x is less than c is less than delta, and it implies that what absolute value of f of x is less than l less than epsilon, and my f of this is x minus 2 less than delta, right? This implies x squared plus 5x plus 2 minus 16 is less than delta epsilon. So if I should do this one the rough work without wasting time, that would be um x plus 7 x minus 2. I want to see if it is less than delta. So what is x minus x plus 7? From our calculation, x plus 7 is less than what? Is less than 10, right? And what is our x minus 2? X minus 2 is actually less than delta also. And what is delta? We said that delta is what? Epsilon over 10. So this is less than 10 times epsilon over 10. And obviously 10 will cancel 10. So we have achieved that it is actually less than what? Epsilon. So ladies and gentlemen, this is true. Thank you so much for sticking around for this video, and I will see you in the next. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.